Hey everybody, Conrad Zimmerman here. I'm going to answer some more of the questions off of my Ask FM page. So if you have a question that you want to ask me, you can go to that link there and ask it, and I may answer it. And that's how this works. So let's dive right in. Our first question today is, what is your sleeper hit of 2013? I think probably the most successful game that I've seen this year that, got through with just the absolute bare minimum amount of actual promotion be State of Decay. That really did very, very well, and almost entirely on word of mouth. So I would probably deem that as to be the sleeper hit for 2013. Next question. You've done a lot of videos for your channel and Destructoid's channel and live streams. What has been your favorite series to work on? That comes from Toby Carlson. Thanks a lot, Toby. It's good to hear from you. They're all fun. I think the most fun I've had was doing the Daily Spelunk with Jordan DeVore. That was just a lot of enjoyable goofing around. And as evidenced by the fact that I'm now doing daily runs on my own channel here, it's just something I really got a real kick out of doing. But my favorite series to work on has been Subhomes, and continues to be. It's proven itself to me to be an incredibly insightful, smart and interesting series about what it is to be someone who works in and around video games, from all sorts of angles and lines of work, and it's really just been very inspirational, and I'm proud to have been a part of it, and really grateful to Holmes for wanting to do it, and it's been a lot of fun. Next question. Do you like any Mega Man games? Okay. So I can see how someone who's only paid attention to what I'm talking about in regards to Mega Man in the last couple of years getting the impression that I don't like Mega Man, but that's not true. I love Mega Man a lot. Mega Man 2 is probably my favorite game ever made. It's something that I can just turn on and enjoy. The level design and the just little bits and pieces of that game are amazing, and I like much of the rest of the Blue Bomber series. 3 and 4 were very good. Mega Man 8 I liked quite a bit, even though I don't think it was all that popular. Mega Man 9 I thought was very good for that remake, although 10 kind of went back to more rehashy stuff. Most of the X series, X 1 through 6, even 6 when the story got strange, I was still on board. I got a kick out of that. The Mega Man Zero games were great. Mega Man Legends 1 and 2 were a lot of fun, and I even liked the first Battle Network. But it hasn't been a great game in a long time. There just has not been anything coming out of that franchise but what feels like exploitation. And that just makes me sad. Especially when you think about, how many games did I just name? Close to a dozen. And here, that for any franchise, that would be unbelievable success. Even Mario doesn't have that many games, but there's that, or at least that many straight Mario games, the sports games. Some of those are pretty good, but I'm deviating from my point here, which is that they've got a lot to be proud of with the Mega Man franchise. But now it feels like they're just sort of sucking what little marrow they can from his robotic bones, and I would rather them just set the property down. Just set the property down and walk away for a while. Give the people who aren't the super hardcore fans who are already so livid with the fact that there isn't a real series entry in this 2013 year. Aside from that, let the other people who have sort of fallen out of interest with Mega Man fall back in love with it through nostalgia, and just give it a break. And maybe there could be some great stuff. And give yourself some time to come up with better ideas. Anyway, so I love a lot of Mega Man. I just not lately. Next question. What book have you read the most times? Now, I have a few books that I read probably once a year or about that. Portrait of Dorian Gray, or Picture of Dorian Gray. I can never remember if it's Portrait or Picture. Not important. Great story. Nice, quick, brief read. Stranger in a Strange Land. I like to read that every year or so. It's a little lengthier, but God, is it good, and so full of insightful, interesting stuff. A really cool premise. But I think the book that I've read more than any other is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. I read that at least once a year. It's something that after I've cleaned the house on a Sunday and I've got some time, I can just sit down and just cover to cover it and enjoy it so much. It says so much about class and that period in history, and I love the character of Nick Carraway as he sort of looks into this sort of otherworldly lifestyle that the very rich have, and Gatsby is this pretender to that lifestyle. It's so layered and rich and enjoyable. So yeah, I love that book. Next question. What would you do if you had to poo in the desert? Now, I don't have a whole lot to work off of with this question. I'm going to assume, for the sake of the fact that, it's a question of what I would do, I'm going to have to assume that I can't hold it until I can go to a place that would be a more dignified or acceptable place to relieve oneself. So I would probably dig a hole using a stick or stone in the area, or if it was just, like a sandier desert, just with my bare hands, defecate into the hole, fill the hole in, and clean myself with sand before going on my way. So thanks for asking. And finally, what's the last game you played to completion? Now, completion's a tricky word, because it could mean a whole lot of things, and when are you ever really complete at something? But, for the sake of argument, let's just say the last game that I went and got through all the achievements and did all of the, designer-intended content. Rogue Legacy, I'm sorry. Rogue Galaxy, that's a GameCube game. Rogue Legacy on the PC released earlier this year. It's the game where you have generation upon generation exploring a procedurally generated castle with a group of bosses. And I got all the achievements in that. I played through the New Game Plus mode like 8 or 9 times. I had a ridiculous save file that got lost in a hard drive crash, and I've been crying ever since. So, yeah, I think that's the last one that I did pretty much everything in. And speaking of last ones, that's our last question. If you have a question that you would like to ask me again, just go and check out the Ask FM link thing, and you can ask anonymously, and perhaps I shall answer it. Until then, feel free to follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to the channel for gameplay videos and more questions and all sorts of other stuff that I do. Until next time, thanks a lot. We'll see you later.